Scapular cars or shoulder blade cars. Our shoulder blades have the ability to move around our rib cage, and they need to be able to move for us to be able to get our arms into all of the positions that we need for pole dancing. For these 3 positions, we are going to bring our shoulder blades into elevation, which is like lifting them up towards your ears, depression, which is bringing them like down, kind of like shoulder blades down in your back pockets, forward, protraction, or backwards and together, retraction. I don't know if a circle or a square is gonna make more sense for your brain, but I have to think of like each one of these kind of in like a circle-y square so that I hit each one of them. So use that if that helps you. To start, we're gonna have our hands by our sides, palms facing in towards our midline or towards our thighs. Make sure that your rib cage is stacked over your pelvis so we're not arching. Once again, this is our shoulder blades moving around our rib cage. Your arms are gonna come along for the ride too, but try to focus on your shoulder blades. A little bit of tension in the arms, and we are going to lift our shoulder blades up. Keeping them lifted up, we are going to bring them forward. Keeping them forward, we're going to bring them down. Keeping them down, can you bring them together behind you? And then keeping them together, can you bring them up? So we're in this nice circle / square position, rotating our shoulder blades around our rib cage, and then reverse directions to make sure that we get all of the positions in both directions. And then if there's a spot where you're like, I want to go really fast, that's a sign that you need a little bit more control over that position. So go nice and slow. For the second position, we are going to bring our arms out like 90 degrees away from our body. And the motion is exactly the same. Our humerus is just in a slightly flexed position doing this. Flexed to like 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to bring our shoulder blades up. And then we're going to punch forward, forward and down and together, together and up, and then up and forward. Once again, go forwards and go backwards. And then for the last position, we're gonna be on our hands and knees. This is called a closed chain position because our palms are gonna be on the ground. The ones here are open chain because our hands are free. This last position is quite challenging for a lot of people. I like to call it a brain fuck. So if you're like, what is happening? That's pretty normal. Get on your hands and knees. Knees are stacked under hips, wrists are stacked under your shoulders, and the motion is exactly the same. We're basically in the same position that we were standing, yes, but just hands are closed chain, they're on the floor. We are going to bring our shoulder blades up towards our ears, push the ground away to bring them forward, keep pushing, slide your rib cage through so that your shoulder blades are down and back, sink in, elbows are not bending, shoulder blades are together, shrug them up, and then push the ground away to go back to the starting position. Something I would like you to be aware of is your shoulder like wiggling while you're doing this? Ideally, is your elbow pit wiggling? Ideally, they are staying, not rotating while we're doing this. They're pressing into the ground, and our shoulder blades are wiggling around our rib cage. So really try and keep like pressure in and not wobbly. And for those of us with hypermobile shoulders, it is usually quite challenging, but it is something that our body needs.